We recently got a chance to check out Splatoon 3, so listen to our preview over some brand new gameplay. After a long hot summer spent spraying filthy patios in Power Wash Simulator, it takes a few minutes to remind yourself that in Splatoon 3 it's okay to make a mess. This is the anti-Power Wash after all, a race to cake every square inch in the level with ink while battling 4 rival squid kids who seek to splatter your territory with their own hue. It has a resolutely Nintendo angle on the online shooter. Bullets are replaced with playful paint, there's a collaborative focus on territory grabbing over a kill count, and in the ink itself, it's a beautifully tactile tool for travel. You can swim through your own team's ink to speed up navigation and get the drop on the enemy. In Splatoon 3, this is all as it ever was. It's ever so slightly prettier and to our ears ever so slightly wetter sounding as you splat and squish through a turf war, but the core idea has not been meddled with. It does raise the question, how exactly do you expand a game that largely nailed its big idea the first time around? Do too little and it seems like a glorified expansion pack. Do too much and you risk upsetting the flow of the game and its considerable fan base. During our hands-on session, a taste of the various modes, Splatoon 3 definitely favours evolution over revolution. Take the Inklings themselves. They can now squid surge up walls, popping over ledges with enough height to start firing on any squatters on the higher ground. Where previously there was a slight disadvantage to cresting walls, you now have the power of surprise and it looks pretty cool. Or consider the Squid Roll, where you change quickly enough in direction while swimming, combine a jump with a jab of the analog stick in the opposite direction of travel, and you can flummox pursuers with a darting hop. One that also has a brief window of invulnerability to repel some incoming unpleasantness. If you're sick of dodge rolling dually players, there's a new move that adds a welcome bit of evasive pep to everyone's moveset. Evolution strikes again. The turf war, where we used these skills, are also slightly livelier affairs. Spawning sees you firing into the area from a hovering platform, a more dynamic entrance, and it gives you more control over your starting position. Then at the other end of the fight, Inklings now celebrate with emotes you purchase alongside other traditional cosmetics. Ever dreamed of seeing an Inkling dab? Well, A, time to reevaluate your life, and B, Nintendo has you covered. We also got to try 2 new weapon classes. The Splatana turns a windscreen wiper into a samurai sword that flings projectiles or charges up vertical slashes that create an instant path to the higher ground. As we are more cowardly players, its close range appeal is slightly lost to us, though we do get spanked by it up close and can confirm its lethality. The Tri-Stinger is a bit more fun, it spreads projectiles, and there's an option to charge up a timed explosive which makes it good at both broad ink coverage and precision strikes. While it's special, the Killer Whale 5.1 blasts 6 inky death rays that look truly terrifying as they slice across the arena. It's great stuff. But even with the new gizmos in play, it never quite escapes the whiff of familiarity. As we battle through the tight confines of Scrooge Gorge, a new short map that hurries everyone into the bloodbath of the central courtyard, we wonder if the casual dabber might be forgiven for thinking this is new DLC for Splatoon 2. This is more keenly felt in the single player offering, which returns to the obstacle course style of the first 2 games. These Mario Galaxy-ish clusters of platforms serve as training for online survival. A level built for the Tri-Stinger, for example, shows how timing sticky bombs to moving platforms can splat foes that are otherwise out of reach. Very standard stuff. A few ideas are borrowed from Splatoon 2's Octo expansion. You can tackle levels with trickier weapons for higher rewards, and the appearance of toll gates hints at a more interesting campaign structure. But the stages themselves are crushingly over-familiar after 2 games of this stuff. Bounce pads, slide rails, ink cannons, check, check, check. It's more remix than anything tangibly new. It irks as the Splatoon universe has such character and weirdly dense lore that you'd think they could come up with a bigger narrative to sustain the experience and more substantial worlds to explore and conquer. Continuing to dice it into micro challenges can't help but feel like another glorified tutorial, which it arguably is. Of everything we try in Splatoon 3, it's Salmon Run, the returning horde mode, that makes the biggest leap. Being able to throw eggs that were previously carried back to the base injects a surge of energy. You can pull off cool solo dunks from afar, or more radically set up daisy chains where you pass the eggs between your team to fill the basket in rapid time. It feels like the killer team interplay that was missing from the mode. Combine this with the fact that Salmon Run is no longer limited to daily timed windows and is guaranteed to be a bigger time sink this time around, which is to say that the tiniest tweak can flip a game on its head or elevate a reliable favourite, which gives us hope that there are more pleasant surprises in store. There's heaps of this stuff in the recent Nintendo Direct that we didn't get to test, such as the new Tetris-like board game, customizable lockers, or the 3-way Splatfest. The latter has a public demo coming this weekend, but the promise of the 3-colour face-offs could well be the spark missing from the more conservative turf war. The real make or break of Splatoon 3 will be hidden in its subtleties. A brief hands-on is maybe not the best showcase, but at the very least, it should be a solid continuation of what came before. Whether its quirks can elevate the game into something more is yet to be seen. Still, it's a nice change from cleaning some virtual sheds.